What's going on, people, and welcome back to another Premier League predictions for Game Week 31. Obviously midweek games this game week as well, so let's get into it. First up, we've got Newcastle versus Everton. Newcastle win that 4-3, massive win for them against West Ham, goals galore. They'll be looking to get another 3 points at home again, and I think they'll probably just do it against Everton. Definitely struggling Everton, and I feel like Newcastle at home will be too much for them. So I'm going to go for Newcastle. Go 2-0 to Newcastle. Forest versus Fulham. Nottingham Forest versus Fulham, I think could be a bit of a cancel each other out kind of game. So for that reason, I'm going to go for a draw. 2-2. Bournemouth versus Palace. Palace have got Eze back, so that definitely helps them. Mateta's in okay form for them up top, so they could cause Bournemouth some issues, but I think Bournemouth at home are pretty good and pretty strong, so I think Bournemouth might just edge it, so I'm going to go with Bournemouth. I'm going to go 2-1. Burnley versus Wolves. Burnley have been slightly improved recently, but they still struggle to not concede too many goals, so I think Wolves for this, even though they've got a lot of injury issues at the moment, I still think Wolves will do enough to get the 3 points, so I'm going to go Wolves. 3-1 to Wolves. West Ham versus Tottenham. Look, Tottenham have got a great attack and can score against anyone and cause teams problems, but their defensive side of the game is not great, and I do think that they'll concede most games they play. And at West Ham, I think it'll be tricky. So I think West Ham at home, I think might get the 3 points. So I'm going to go West Ham. 3-1 West Ham. Arsenal versus Luton. I think Arsenal take this. Probably a clean sheet as well at home at the Emirates. Pretty standard 3 points, I'd say. 3-0 Arsenal. Brentford versus Brighton, I think could be a really exciting game with lots of chances, and I like both of these teams, so I think it could be a lot of goals. Edge it to Brentford being at home, because it could really go either way easily. I'm going to go 2-1 to Brentford. Manchester City versus Aston Villa. Villa are really fighting for that Champions League spot and doing very well at the moment. Clear of Tottenham by a few points. Pressure is still on them, but they're coping with it at the moment. But going to the Etihad against City, I think, is just the hardest thing you have to do. And I think they could go there and get a result if they play to what they can, but I think it's going to be very tough, especially now that City just drew with Arsenal and they're going to want to bounce back with 3 points. I think Haaland's going to get at least one in this game, so I'm going to go with City, and I'm going to go 3-1 City. Liverpool versus Sheffield United, I think, could really be an embarrassing scoreline. I'm going to go 4-0 Liverpool. And then lastly, to finish off this game week, guys, we've got Chelsea versus Manchester United, which in this household is a big one because my partner is a Chelsea supporter and I'm obviously a Manchester United supporter. So rivalry, but it's kind of friendly as well because we don't hate each other's teams. There's a lot of banter, but I think that there's not a lot of difference in terms of quality and overall ability of both squads. I think it'll be a draw. I think both teams will cancel each other out. There's not a lot of difference between the two sides. Despite the difference in points in the table, I think if you really look at it, it's quite level playing fields. It'll be a draw. Obviously, I hope we can get the 3 points, but I think a draw is not the worst result either. Over draw though, 1-1. So that is it for this week's predictions, guys. Let me know yours in the comments. Who do your team have? Do you fancy their chances? And I'll be back shortly as well with another FPL video, probably tomorrow, just before the games get under the way. So I've got to go out and do things today and might not get to do the video later today. So hopefully I can squeeze that in tomorrow. But things are very busy here at the moment, hence why there wasn't a prediction video recently for the last game week. It's just a lot going on and it's hard to fit stuff in sometimes. So yeah, hopefully I can squeeze that video in tomorrow before the games get underway for giving you an update on how my game week went. And obviously for this game week coming up. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you soon.